Hey mama, did you know you're a superhero? That's right, believe it. What's your superpower, you ask? Your intuition. We have a unique sixth sense for what our kids need and when they need it. My tribe and I call this mom sense. When you're a first-time parent, it's scary and lonely and so exhausting. I know this all too well. Hi, I'm Kanika Chadda Gupta. I'm a journalist, entrepreneur, and now a mother of 3, twin toddlers and a baby, or my 2-for-1 and BOGO special. I was thrown into the deep end of motherhood, and it was sink or swim. I made a plan of action with my husband, built my village, met the right people, asked a ton of questions, and have learned so much in these early years. It's okay if you don't have time to read all the parenting books out there. And if you're watching YouTube videos on how to increase your supply while nursing or pumping, and simultaneously posting in your neighborhood mommy group and buying diapers on Amazon. I've been there. That's why I launched my podcast for the mom on the go. You can passively listen when you're doing a drop-off in your minivan, heading to work on the subway, or cooking dinner for your family. I interview industry experts and real-life mamas on their mom sense experiences, tackling topics like what to expect when you're done expecting, dealing with mom guilt, how to teach your kids to meditate, rekindling your marriage, and how to master your 5-minute makeup routine. And you know what the best part is? Each episode has tangible takeaways, homework that's fun, so you feel somehow changed for the better after listening to it. Not to mention relatable stories, inspiring quotes, and the best product recommendations from fellow moms. #MomWin. Grab your latte that probably went from steaming hot to ice cold and take a listen to That's Total Mom Sense. Walt Disney once said, "You can dream, create, design, and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it requires people to make the dream a reality." Many of us run our own businesses or are part of the entrepreneurial world and understand how important it is to us to have a trustworthy, dynamic, connected board of directors. My guest today believes that we could all use a board when it comes to our personal and mom life too. Corey Spiegel is a married mom with 2 teenagers, born and raised in New Jersey, and now living in California with her high school sweetheart for over 20 years. Her company, Lighthouse, is a fresh new community of like-minded women who get together to share, advise, inspire, and help each other navigate life in a judgment-free zone. The connections are genuine, the conversations are real, and the brainstorming vibrant. They feature a curated list of topics that resonate with today's modern woman and provide interactive classes. Sometimes a more objective audience works better than a dearest confidant. Corey worked as a senior executive working in the entertainment industry for brands like Playboy, National Geographic, Warner Brothers, Extra, Ellen, Rotten Tomatoes, and TMZ, to name a few, overseeing digital sales, product integrations, social media, and brand partnerships. She learned a ton at these companies, but after so many years in the trenches, it was time to start her own business in a space that combined her skill set with her passion points outside of advertising. This led her to create Lighthouse. Corey, thank you so much for being on That's Total Mom Sense.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Wonderful. So set the stage for us. What was it like growing up for you?
We were raised to believe in honesty, authenticity, and really being the same person regardless of where you were, whether you were at work or with friends and family. I also grew up surrounded by a ton of working women, and I saw firsthand what it was like to work full-time, raise a family, be a parent, a wife, and a devoted and loyal friend, all while being able to actually put a hot meal on the table for dinner every night. It really shaped who I am today and convinced me that I didn't have to choose one over the other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Tell us about your journey through motherhood.
So my journey through motherhood was actually really interesting. My husband wanted kids before I did. I knew I always wanted them, but I never really felt like I was ready. When I ultimately did have my babies, I have 2. I had very, very difficult pregnancies. With the first one, I actually took off 3 months. And with the second baby, my baby was born on a Friday and I was back at work on Monday. So, they're 3.5 years apart. So I had completely different experiences, and I felt like I had my better footing, better feet on the ground, knowing what to do and how to prepare for that.
Absolutely. You mentioned it's important to have a board of directors in your mom life. So who were those people for you when you first became a mom?
Certainly my mother and probably both of my grandmothers. They were really my board of directors and my closest circle of friends. While they've always been, the biggest cheerleaders for me, I really needed an unbiased vantage point for somebody to actually weigh in on decisions for me that actually had no skin in the game. That's what I felt was needed in the marketplace and what I felt I needed as a woman and as a mom. It's very, very similar to Mommy and Me, which at the time when I had my babies was really my savior. It didn't matter what you looked like. The rawness and the openness and the shared vulnerability with no right or wrong, just, support and community with women that were going through the exact same thing at the same time as me felt so spot on. And I always wondered why it was only available really for when you had babies. Mm-hmm. So I looked at this opportunity and thought, I always reported to a board of directors for my professional life. Why couldn't I actually have this for my personal life?
Absolutely. That's such a brilliant idea. This reminds me of a show that I'm addicted to right now called Workin' Moms. It's the Canadian sitcom. And
yes.
You watch it?
Yes. Yes, I've seen it for sure. It's hilarious.
Yeah. And the premise is, these 4 women who met at Mommy and Me, and they have such different lifestyles. And, you just kind of navigate through what they're going through, but they all have little kids. And I love how, you're trying to allow that concept to play out when you have kids who are older, because you always need that support system at every phase.
Absolutely. It's not just so much about kids. I mean, obviously it's a big part of it, but it's really to be available for women at all stages of their life, whether they're moms or not.
Yes, exactly. And was there a pivotal moment for you where you were going through something or a friend was going through something with your older kids that you were like, you know what, this is why I need to build this?
There have been so many things. I think initially when I decided to start Lighthouse, which was almost a year ago, I wish that I actually had this board of directors at the time to really flesh through my decision of leaving my stable 25-year digital marketing, advertising, this whole corporate ladder that I had chased for such a long time to really leave and start my own company. I wish that I had that opportunity. And that was really probably for me, the impetus for me to start my own business. From a topic standpoint, I actually launched the first series, which was Raising Responsible Kids, after my own son was bullied. And again, I was longing for the sense of community and the sense of honesty from other people. No one really bubbles those things up, or they don't really talk about it. So when I launched Raising Responsible Kids and I started the class saying that my son was bullied, and I took everybody in that group through the struggle that I had encountered, what I ultimately realized is that there were so many other people out there just like me that were going through the same challenges with their own kids. And once you had somebody raise your hand and say, you're not alone, there's that ultimate aha moment that exists, but you just want to create an environment that people feel safe and open to share their stories. And that's really what I was in search of.
That's amazing. And I mean, similar to AA's model, which is a global phenomenon, it works. You need to have a community of people backing you up and who are going through the exact same problems that you are. What are some of the events that you have put on with Lighthouse?
In 9 months, we've had about 56 classes that we've done. I personally curate a list of compelling and curious topics so that women can pick and choose which series or sessions they want to attend, because obviously you want somebody that's going to choose a topic that's resonating with them at a certain time in their lives. And again, I know we focus a lot on motherhood but it is not a prerequisite to come to Lighthouse that you have to be a parent. You just have to be female. So we've done several classes. We have a series that's going on now titled The Power Hour, which is all about starting your own business, becoming an entrepreneur, and supporting all the ideas and the ups and the downs that go along with that. We have right now 5 groups that have been together from the start and have asked specifically to remain together because they've built such confidence and such accountability with each other that we just keep changing the topics, but the groups stay the same because of those connections.
Tell us a little bit about the framework. So is there an expert or a panel or like a moderation going on, or is it just women that are like-minded in their interest for the topic at hand?
Right now, it is all about the face-to-face connection. So we don't allow people to Skype in or dial in. When you're sitting in a room and you put your cell phones down and you've committed that hour and a half to really making it about you and helping other people through a journey, that's when everything sort of comes to life. It really has to be about shutting everything else off and being present and committing yourself to a much needed brain dump with other like-minded women who absolutely get it. There are several classes that are either 3-part series or 6-part series. And whenever there is a 3 and or a 6-part series, I will always bring in an expert. So when it was raising responsible kids, I would bring in a teen behavioralist, a psychologist that would be able to come in and we could bubble up the topics and the questions that we have all been discussing. And then this person was able to shed a lot of insight and color into the things that she sees in her practice and the common threads and the common themes. With the divorce one, we had a divorce coach and a divorce lawyer that was moderating the classes. I've brought in sex coaches. I really try to be very, very creative and make sure that the moderators are really answering the questions that the group is interested in knowing more about.
Absolutely. One thing I love asking my guests is about their mom sense moment. I truly believe that we have a built-in sixth sense or intuition when it comes to our kids. And so,
yeah.
Right. And is there just one moment in time of many, I'm sure, where you just trusted your mom sense?
I think the moment that I had that mom sense for me, I knew that after 25 years of working for other companies, I wanted to be my own boss. I was certainly terrified financially, terrified about leaving a stable career. But I also knew that my kids were getting older and that I would never get that time back with them. So I really wanted to be able to cherish and really be with my kids as much as possible. So I really just decided to bank on me instead and be very authentic with myself, knowing what I not just needed to do, but I wanted to do was start my own business. I had been baking Lighthouse for 4 years prior to actually releasing and launching it. But I've never looked back. I've never been happier. I've never been more fulfilled. And I certainly have never been more present as a parent because I've created and allocated the time to be able to do so.
Let's not forget our quote of the day. Is there a quote that you live by?
Yes, that's so funny. I love quotes. I absolutely love them because I find them so inspiring. But I think for me, the one quote, which really has become my daily mantra, if you will, is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You don't know how things are going to pan out. You don't know if they're going to be better and you don't know if they're going to be worse. So I got tired of hearing that in my head. You know, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? And ultimately, it gave me the courage to get up at bat, and I'm certainly still swinging.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. It's now time for Mom Haul, when we share products we love. So one section that I like to close out with is Mom Haul, and that's just all about shopping and consumerism. But is there any, one product that you're like, loving and sharing with all your girlfriends right now?
Right now, I would say that I am loving exercise in whatever form that comes in. Again, and that might mean just walking the dog. That might be taking a yoga class. I feel so much better doing it.
Yes, it's so true. And I think as women, it's in our DNA to just keep giving and giving and giving to everyone else in our world. And then we forget to give to ourselves.
Yeah.
That
we
workout.
prioritize ourselves last and put everybody else first.
Exactly. Can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Absolutely. Find your Lighthouse, and that is LIGHTHOUSE.com. You can follow us on Instagram at findyour_lighthouse. We are on Facebook, findyourlighthouse.com. But certainly go and check us out, signing up for some of our classes. We hope to see many of you in different cities across the U.S. We hope to see you soon. And please feel free to email us.
Awesome. And we are so glad to be able to have you help us and guide us to finding our lighthouse. Thank you. I think Corey is spot on with the fact that we all need a trusted board of directors in our corner to navigate through life. Thank you all for listening and for your continued support. Please leave me a review on this episode or any other episode. Tell me which one was your favorite, what you want to hear more about. I really pay heed to the content that you want because I'm creating these shows to resonate with you. Leave me a message on my email. It's thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com. And follow me on Instagram at KanikaXOXO. Thanks, everyone. Bye. That's Total Mom Sense.